Okay, so we did finally get a phone, Samsung S9 Plus, and here's our review. So Samsung is calling this the camera reimagined, and they've done that in a couple of ways. Basically, you have new crazy slow-mo. You can shoot 960 at 720. You also have the option of 2 apertures, 2.4 and 1.5, and it gives you like manual control, which is really cool. And the last thing is it has new processing power. It has some crazy new internal whatever that basically gives you way more power in how it reads the image. Don't fully understand that yet, but we're gonna get into it, I promise. All right, so we have the iPhone 10, the Samsung S9 Plus, the new phone. This is what we're featuring. And then also the Pixel 2 XL. Hey, you guys ready?
So ready.
Okay, so today we have some guests with us. Caleb is not here. It breaks my heart, I miss him. But we do have my wife, Sarah, who's second best to Caleb. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Like one box that's large enough that fits any bag.
Lovely gadgets.
Oh, Caleb's gonna be so mad.
Don't tell Caleb. All right, so we're just setting up for our first shot. We're gonna do. Just keep adjusting the we're gonna set up for our first shot and we're gonna do portrait mode. What we're looking at is the softness on the edges of Sarah's face and her hat and that kind of thing to see if it's fuzzy. We're also looking at how good the bokeh is, or bokeh, whichever you prefer. And we're also gonna look at dynamic range and figure out which one looks the most natural in the post-production.
Hey guys.
All right, so the S9 is really interesting. It'll let you adjust the background blur as you go. So even in post, we can drag this bokeh and see where it's falling apart. So it's interesting, like I'm noticing about halfway through, her shoulders are getting fuzzy. So they're basically just adjusting that line of blur around her.
Oh yeah, this is my wife, Sarah, if you don't know. She knows nothing about phones or technology.
That's not very nice, but it's kind of true.
I'm recording.
You're recording? All right, so now we are going to transition into the ultra slow-mo on the S9 Plus. Again, 960 frames per second at 720p. There is an auto mode, and essentially what it does is it waits for action to come through the frame, it senses that, and it slows it down. It can actually only slow down 0.2 seconds of the footage that you have, so that just goes to show how crazy 960 frames per second is.
960 frames per second is.
Other phones don't even do close to 960 frames per second, so this will just be a highlight of the Samsung S9 Plus feature.
Yes.
Okay, so first impressions. It is crazy how well it notices that action, and it ramps it super well. So basically, you'll see in this footage, it's like when we're just sitting there and not moving, it's in real time, 30 frames per second. But the minute she moves, you see it slow down, and it looks really good. All right, I have to get revenge now or something. Gotta do your legs too.
Oh.
Okay, so we're doing just a quick like 4K 30 test. This is just really to tell colors and sharpness and detail, and we made Poor Melissa getting the snow. Okay, so another quick slow-mo test. All millennials, like ourselves, love LaCroix, so let's shake one up and see how much it explodes. Oh, that was so boring. Okay, that has to be cool, right?
This is cool, yeah. I'm into it.
All right, apologies to everyone who was upset about the LaCroix, the LaCroix Fallen Soldiers. So we just got to the new spot. There's like someone camped out down the other road, so we can't go that way.
Pictures, come down here.
Thank you. Other way, we're just like whatever. So we're just gonna shoot it right here, kind of a cool area. We're gonna test some dynamic range and some photos, do some like more standard photos, so non-portrait mode. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay, ready? Here we go. One. Oh, you're LaCroix can. I don't want that.
That's epic. Okay, LaCroix getting in the way. Here you go, I'll take it. Thanks.
Okay, here we go. So the range looks really nice on the S9. The whites are still showing detail, and yet Sarah, even in the car, her face is exposed really well. Alright, so we're gonna do some standard photos. This is non-portrait mode.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Okay, stop right there and turn around. Perfect. With this test, we use the auto mode on S9, but if you're shooting in Pro, you have the option to change the aperture because Samsung S9 gives you a 2.4 and a 1.5. You choose when you want to use it anytime. If you're not familiar with aperture, you would want to use the 2.4 when you have a lot of light and you need to compensate for that, and you'd want to crank it down to the 1.5 when you want a creamier bokeh or for low light situations.
Okay, so there's like this deep kind of like snowy pit, so we're gonna drive the trooper through it. We're gonna shoot 4K 60 on the Samsung S9 Plus as well as the iPhone 10. Again, Pixel doesn't have 4K 60, so sorry. And then we're gonna shoot 960 frames per second on the S9 Plus to then show you like the difference of how much slow motion you really have with that. It's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be cool. See? Okay, so Samsung died. Really cold out there. The S9 battery life is really good, but you gotta give it a full charge before you start using it. All right, so as we wait for the S9 Plus to fully charge up again, one, this is not a testament to bad battery life, it's just a testament to bad user. We didn't do a full charge earlier, so kind of did it to ourselves. But this is a good segue into talking about when to shoot really, really slow motion. So I think the most important thing is having tons of action in your shot. So we just did a shot with me going through a puddle. In 4K 60, it's gonna look nice because stuff's fast, but it's gonna look kind of like slow and cinematic. But in the super, super fast, you can see how it's almost too slow. Like it's almost, you don't see enough action. So keep in mind when you're shooting super slow motion that you just need tons of action and you need to be quick because it's only in that 0.2 second window. And yeah, that's about it. I think we're gonna, are you guys hungry? Yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna go get some food now and then do low light tests? Yeah. And then do low light tests because apparently it's a low light beast.
Oh my gosh.
Go.
We're doing it.
All right, nighttime sesh.
Nighttime sesh. So we just finished dinner and now we're out here for our low light test. It's raining, but we're gonna make do. Samsung claims it'll be pretty darn good in low light. That's because it has a faster processor, so it should do a lot better, and has the wide aperture of 1.5, so it should let in more light, which is the lowest any phone can go. So we're gonna test it out and see what we find.
Just standing in the rain. Last one. Alright guys, so that about wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed this shootout and us featuring some of the new S9 highlights. We're super stoked on this phone. Definitely think it is the camera reimagined with a couple of those upgrades, which no phone has seen yet. Let us know in the comments below which phone you think won, which one you thought has the upper hand, and let us know if you plan to upgrade to an S9 or if you completely plan to switch phones and go to an S9 as well. We'd love to hear your feedback. We're gonna have some more S9 content coming out, probably something featuring like how to use slow-mo and something featuring some low light, so stay tuned for those, and thanks for watching. See you next time.